Don't wait until it happens. I truly believe that by the end of this SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, there will be an outburst in XRP price that will surprise the entire world. Before we proceed, kindly check the video description and you'll find a link which offers all our loyal viewers 5% off of trading fees on Binance. You can benefit from this simply by signing up via the link, and the discount is yours every time you trade on Binance. The SEC's lawsuit predicament triggered a dramatic drop in XRP's price. Not only that, but many coin exchanges have delisted or halted XRP trading on their platforms to avoid complications with federal securities laws, as the SEC alleges that the token is a security. With the lawsuit, the commission therefore accuses Ripple Labs of unlawfully raising more than $1.3 billion in an unregistered securities offering through XRP. A lot of users are calling this a black swan event. So what happens if they win? Does it rebound beyond all belief? Maybe nothing. What happens if they're declared a security but all they have to do is pay a fine? How would other projects be affected? While Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has remained defiant in the face of the SEC's lawsuit, the XRP token continues to lose value with multiple exchange delistings and a halt to trading on major US exchange Coinbase. Can the XRP price ever recover? Welcome back to Make Money Online. Today we'll be looking at the possible scenarios that could sponsor a 100-fold move of XRP. We'll also look at some of the latest news and XRP price predictions and see how we can benefit from it. If you're watching a video for the first time on this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification buttons so you can get notified every time we post more interesting videos. Let's dive right in. At the end of 2020, XRP's price spiked to about 66 cents. However, after the SEC announced the lawsuit, the price collapsed and now is extremely volatile. This case would require a Howey test, and XRP has to satisfy all 4 requirements to be labeled a security. This could be the new update to the Howey test. It's honestly all very interesting. If Ripple succeeds, other coins will have this case as precedent. If they lose, there will be a new Howey test to point to. In terms of money, it's quite obvious what would happen if they win. They would recover in value, exchanges would relist, and clarity would be brought to the cryptocurrency industry. Andrew Serezny of DeBevoise and Plimpton has reviewed the case and suggested that the SEC chose to overlook key facts, such as XRP being traded across the world without any regulatory interference. XRP is a virtual currency and thus outside the SEC's jurisdiction. Ripple themselves had something to say about this lawsuit, and they filed a response suit, which made several points. 1. Ripple has never entered a contract for investment with any holders of XRP. 2. Ripple never held an ICO, never offered future tokens to raise money, and has no relationship with the vast majority of XRP holders. 3. Holding XRP does not mean a person receives a portion of Ripple's revenue or profits. 4. Ripple's XRP sales amounted to far less than 1% of the massive XRP market that has grown over the last 8 years. 5. The XRP ledger on which XRP moves is completely decentralized. The SEC ignores the economic reality of an XRP transaction. And 6. Ripple's XRP holdings do not create an investment contract any more than De Beers holdings convert diamonds into securities. Although the Securities and Exchange Commission is highly reputed in the US financial sector and is attempting to regulate crypto assets as best as it can at the expense of overreaching and strong-arming institutions to comply with its rules, Ripple still has a huge chance of beating the suit. The SEC's case rests on the proposition that XRP is a security. If it's not, the SEC lacks jurisdiction. In the Constitution, the Supreme Court provided a framework for determining whether certain assets are investment contracts and therefore securities. The Securities Act defines the term security to include an investment contract. In what's now known as the Howey test, the court explained that an asset is a security if it represents an investment in a common enterprise, with the expectation of profits derived solely from the efforts of others. In its complaint, the SEC argues that XRP is a security because investors who purchased XRP anticipated that profits would be dependent upon Ripple's efforts to manage and develop the market for XRP. Ripple has disputed the SEC's allegations, arguing that XRP is a fully functioning currency that offers a better alternative to Bitcoin. Ripple, in its official response to the lawsuit, claimed that the worst affected by the SEC lawsuit were retail investors, as the price of the XRP token fell by over 50% in the wake of the lawsuit. Ripple went on to allege that the SEC was picking sides rather than being unbiased, as at one point they even claimed Ethereum could qualify as a security, and with time, it gained the status of an asset class. And XRP could very well fit in that same bracket. Ripple also accused the SEC of distorting the facts in the lawsuit filing by cherry-picking the quotes and data to show it in a bad light. According to CoinDesk, in a letter to the Southern District Court in New York on Thursday, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and Executive Chairman Chris Larson asked Judge Sarah Netburn to block subpoenas sent to multiple banks seeking 8 years' worth of their financial information. The executive body of Ripple claimed that the SEC's request was wholly inappropriate overreach because the case relates to the alleged sale of unregistered securities and is a non-fraud litigation. Specifically, Garlinghouse and Larson argued their personal financial lives are not relevant to the case, though they have agreed to provide some financial information. Additionally, the SEC's demands violate privacy interests, they said. If all goes well, by the end of 2021, XRP can touch the $1 mark. As soon as XRP reaches $1, the correction phase may enter. The most likely zone for XRP's price in 2022 is from $0.50 to $1. However, if the crypto gains support from investment giants, the XRP rate can change its direction to a new bull run. In the meantime, the price of the crypto is relying on a safe trend, with it attaining a rigid structure showing a rock-solid consolidation. This has led to speculation about the next direction of the price trend. Will we see an uptrend or a continuation of its current state of price consolidation? You wonder why there's no option pointing to a downtrend? There are so many factors in the current market that make a downtrend highly unlikely. Aside from the information about the lawsuit and the growing distinction dispelling XRP's continuous entanglement with the lawsuit, there's the expansion in the applicability of the coin to a more diverse use, with new innovations arriving in XRP forming the basis for the proliferation of CBDs through the use of XRP-based Ripple products. These dynamic utilizable provisions of XRP gives it a solid foundation for executing moves of its own as it increases in profile. Looking at the daily charts, the coin will continue to consolidate and experience sideways movement while being subject to volatility. The cause of the recent volatility is attributed by some analysts to be a result of the most recent moves of Bitcoin. What's the justification? Well, they claim that according to statistics, every rise in Bitcoin's price tends to send investors flocking to other small coins as they sell off to try to hedge the inflation. The market sentiment moves to favor other coins and only returns when Bitcoin starts a correction or goes into a major dip. Then what's called an altcoin rally starts. We'd really like to think that this isn't the way it is. A new section is being created every single crypto trading day as more people are entering the crypto fold and there's increasing trust growing in crypto such as XRP. In this chart, we consider a different light to the upward projection of XRP as indicated. We have a green and blue arrow in a zigzag pattern projecting the possible movement of XRP. The green arrow suggests an immediate spike in XRP price to about 45 cents in the first stretch before a minor dip, which leads to a minor bounce that sets it on a diagonal push through the resistance above 55 cents. This is a fairly reasonable possibility, but we can see a possibly more realistic move in the blue arrow, which takes further consideration of potential market volatility and suggests that the coin may still go sideways, spiking and dipping almost horizontally before it aims to go on an uptrend. Many would reckon with this given the quiet atmosphere around the market. If XRP closes below 50 cents, we'll be exiting the triangle formed from the November high and subsequent low to the low side. We can then set our gaze on the 50-cent mark. We could be setting up for something wonderful come April, and we could see some fireworks. Word on the street is that XRP will soon prove itself in the crypto market. Often termed as a consolidation giant, we hope to see it change shape as it transmutes and becomes more aggressive in its push upwards. The kind of aggressive moves that we've seen it make before the SEC case started. In the time to come, we may see the crypto make gains of about 300, 500, and even 800% on its own with the brute force of investor interest alone. There's also the chance that a victory in the SEC lawsuit could push the coin to grow 100-fold, which is about a 10,000% growth margin. That victory would be the grand victory of this decade, even if it's just starting. Newer cryptos and tokens will have a new precept for evading regulatory enforcement, such as the one with XRP. The smallest of them all will have good ground to develop from and overcome any threat of litigation by a regulatory body, as long as it plays true to the fundamentals of the crypto industry. We hope to see some restraint imposed on the SEC as it embraces desperate measures to quench the fire of the crypto industry. If they will ever get a foot in the door, it sure won't be with XRP. And there you have it. Thanks for watching this video. Let us know your comments in the comment section below. We can't wait to hear from you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to check out the link in the description for your 5% off trading on Binance. See you next time.
Hollywood car set. That's how it goes. Hollywood car set.